After running a successful ClassiPress site in my niche for over a year, one of the biggest questions I was asked was when a user was last active on the site. Often you will find users come to your site, leave an advert, and then never return. But potential buyers want to know if contacting the advert owner is likely to get a response. If the user they are contacting hasn't been on the site in a long time, it's highly unlikely they will get a reply, and a potential buyer would have been wasting their time. There was a huge demand on my site to display a notification to other users if a user was online, and if not, when they were less active. So I created this functionality for them and decided to turn it into a plugin for the rest of you in the ClassiPress community. With ClassiPress User Last Active, you can easily set various notifications around your site, letting users know if a user is online or when they were last active. Everything is editable, so you can choose which notifications are shown, what the text says, and what color the text is in. So let's take a look at the settings and the locations of where these notifications are. So on your home page, we have our add listing loop. We will have to display the notification in here whether or not the user is online. And if they're not online, we also let you know when the user was last active. We have a sidebar widget, which allows you to add a widget area, which allows you to show the online users and recently active users. And if you hover over the user names, these are actually links to them user profiles. We also have an optional footer widget area, which allows you to add users that are online or recently online. And again, these names are links to the user profile. If we go into an advert itself, we can see that we have an online notification underneath the header. And also in the poster area here for the contact details. And if we head over to the actual author page, we also have notification on their author page as well. So all these areas on ClassiPress are actually editable. We can change the text that's used, and we can also choose whether or not we want to display the notifications on there. For example, on an actual advert page, you might not want to display it under the header, and you might not want to display it under the poster information. You might just want to display it on the home page. So let's have a look at the settings and what we got here. So general settings. Online users are users who have been active in the last 5 minutes by default. What this means is if the user has been on your site within the last 5 minutes and has visited another page, they will show as online on the website. If after 5 minutes, or the period of time that you enter in here, has lapsed, and it's less than the number of days you enter in here, they will show as recently active. So in this example, we can see that online now, ClassiPress, means that this user has been using the site within the last 5 minutes, but this other user here, called another user, hasn't been on the site in the last 5 minutes, but has been on the site in the last 2 days, because that's the settings I've got set up here. So hopefully that makes sense. Should be nice and clear, nice and straightforward. So that's how it determines which users are online and which users are classed as recently active. So where can we display notifications on your site? So like I said, we have the add loop listing, we have the actual add listing page itself, and if we have that ticked, we also have these two additional options, which is the add poster tab and under the add header. And lastly, we can also choose to display it on the user profile. So they're the four main options where you can locate the notifications. And then we also have the option to set the text for these areas here. So online notification text, that would be, if we go into the advert here, we can see it says online, and we can see online in here. Now you can use some basic HTML. Like I say, I've just put this in bold using the strong tags. But if we will go into a different user here, so if we go back and go to this advert here, we will see that they were last active 1 hour, and last active is the intro text. So this is the text that will be displayed before the time period. So last active, and then 1 hour ago. Now, when you first install ClassiPress User Last Active, it won't have any information about the users on your site and when they last logged in. So in this case, we'll have a default time period of unknown. So if the user hasn't logged into your site, it will display unknown. And to see what that looks like, if we head back over to the home page here, if we scroll down, we can see that we've got this user here that's logged in before we installed the plugin, and their last active was unknown because we don't actually know when they were last on the site. But when they log into the site, it will update and it will then add them to the system. So along with these text information here, we can obviously go through and pick a color, which allows you to customize the look to your theme better. And we also have some widget options here. So like I said, we have a sidebar widget, and this will obviously fill up with all the different users that are active on your site and who are recently active. But you can change the text intro for them. So we have online and recently in this example. So online and then the usernames, and recently and then the usernames. And again, you have the choice of color, so you can match your theme. And then for the footer, we have the similar option where you can display online users and recently active users. Again, you can mix and match this. You can disable you might not want to show recently active, you might only want to show online. So if you wanted that, you just untick that, and then you'll only ever show the online users. But with this, again, you have the option to pre-format that text in front of the information. So users online, and then previously online. Again, all editable in here, and you can use the color picker again to match your theme settings. And as a little extra settings for you, you can choose whether or not you want to display this information above or below the footer widgets. So at the moment it's set below the footer widgets, which is here, so it's above the socket but below the widget area. And if we change that to above footer widgets and save that, and then we refresh this page here, we can see that the information is now above the widgets. So if you've got a lot of users on your site and you're using this to show the information, you might want to put it above the socket, so you know your widget area here isn't too far down the page, but it just gives you the option to let you put that information where you want. So I hope you can see how great and powerful this plugin is for your site. Lets you notify your visitors when other users were last active, and obviously if they're currently online. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment.